For years, people have debated the origins of Filipinos. Are we purely Austronesian? Are we part Malay, part Chinese? Or do we share deep ancestral roots with Polynesians, the master navigators who sailed across the Pacific in canoes thousands of years ago? Well, brand new research is shaking up everything we thought we knew. And the answer is far more fascinating than a simple yes or no. So grab your paddle, because we're about to set sail across oceans, time, and DNA to uncover the hidden connection between the Philippines and the far reaches of Polynesia. When most people picture Polynesians, they think of places like Hawaii, Samoa, Tahiti, or New Zealand's Maori. These island nations are scattered thousands of kilometers apart, yet their people share striking physical traits, language similarities, and legendary seafaring traditions. Filipinos, meanwhile, sit in Southeast Asia, seemingly far from Polynesia. But here's the twist: linguistic, archaeological, and genetic evidence all point to a shared origin story. And it all begins thousands of years ago, long before the Philippines, Samoa, or Hawaii even had their modern names. One of the strongest connections comes from something you and I use everyday: words. Many Filipino languages, Tagalog, Cebuano, Ilocano, belong to the Austronesian language family, the same group as Hawaiian, Samoan, Tahitian, and Maori. This isn't a coincidence. Linguists have found dozens of shared words. Tagalog mata for I, same in Hawaiian maka. Cebuano lima for 5, same in Maori rima. Tagalog tubu for sugarcane, similar in Tahitian tubu. These similarities are more than linguistic accidents. They are echoes of an ancient migration, one that started much closer to the Philippines than you might think. While language hints at a shared past, DNA tells the real story. Modern genetic studies have shown that Polynesians and Filipinos share Austronesian ancestry. Specifically, many genetic markers found in Polynesian people can be traced back to populations from Taiwan and the northern Philippines. Around 5,000 years ago, the ancestors of today's Austronesians began their great migration, leaving Taiwan, moving through the Philippines, then eastward through Micronesia, and into the vast Pacific. The route wasn't random. The Philippines was the first major staging ground, a launchpad for the epic Polynesian expansion. In other words, without the Philippines, Polynesia might never have been settled at all. If there's one thing Polynesians are famous for, it's navigating thousands of kilometers across open ocean using nothing but the stars, the winds, and the waves. But here's the part most people miss. That same knowledge existed in the Philippines for millennia. Before motorboats or GPS, Filipino barangay boats sailed from island to island, sometimes hundreds of kilometers away, using almost identical methods to Polynesian wayfinders. Archaeologists have even found ancient boat remains in Butuan, Mindanao, dating back over 1,000 years. These balangays weren't just local fishing boats, they were ocean-going vessels, proof of a shared maritime tradition stretching across the Pacific. Many Filipinos have noticed, and outsiders too, that certain regions in the Philippines, especially in the south, have people whose appearance is remarkably similar to Polynesians. Broad shoulders, strong builds, wavy hair, and deep tan skin. While genetics is, pretty complex and influenced by centuries of mixing, these physical similarities likely reflect a shared Austronesian heritage, preserved in some island communities more than others. So, if Filipinos and Polynesians started from the same ancestral roots, why did Polynesians end up spread across such a massive ocean, while Filipinos stayed mostly in Southeast Asia? The answer lies in environment and opportunity. In the Philippines, land was abundant, trade was rich, and inter-island travel was enough for survival. In contrast, Polynesians lived in smaller, more isolated islands, forcing them to venture farther to find resources, new land, and trade routes. Over generations, this turned Polynesians into master navigators capable of crossing the most dangerous stretches of water on Earth. Recent studies have identified a specific genetic signature in Polynesians that scientists have traced back to the Philippines and Taiwan. This is not just a vague similarity, it's a direct ancestral link. This signature also helps explain a historical mystery: the sudden appearance of advanced navigation and agriculture across far-flung Pacific islands around 3,000 years ago. The spread of this culture matches perfectly with the Austronesian migration path starting in Taiwan, passing through the Philippines and fanning out into the Pacific. It's not just DNA and boats, cultural practices link Filipinos and Polynesians too. Tattoo traditions. Ancient Filipinos, like Polynesians, used tattoos as marks of bravery and status. The Visayan word batok is similar to the Samoan tatau. Oral history. Both cultures preserved myths about great voyages, sea gods, and creation stories tied to the ocean. Food staples like taro, yams, and coconut were cultivated in both regions, carried by Austronesian sailors wherever they went. Today, many Filipinos migrate to Polynesian nations like Hawaii, Samoa, and New Zealand, often surprised at how culturally at home they feel. Shared hospitality, respect for elders, love for music and dance. These values trace back to a common Austronesian worldview. In sports like rugby and outrigger canoe racing, Filipinos and Polynesians often excel for similar reasons. A cultural and physical heritage adapted to endurance, teamwork, and navigation. The answer is yes, but also no. It's more accurate to say Filipinos and Polynesians are cousins in the grand Austronesian family tree. Polynesians are descended from people who once lived in the Philippines, but not all Filipinos are descended from Polynesians. We share the same starting chapter in our history, but our stories branched in different directions. In a time when honestly a lot of people think of nations and ethnic groups as separate boxes, the Austronesian story reminds us that human history is a web, not a set of walls. The connection between Filipinos and Polynesians is proof that our ancestors didn't just survive, they thrived by reaching out, learning from others, and daring to cross horizons. So next time you hear a Hawaiian chant, see a Samoan canoe, or taste Tahitian coconut bread, remember, part of that story started in the Philippines, and if you've ever wondered whether we're connected across oceans, the science says we absolutely are. Which makes you wonder, if our ancestors could sail thousands of kilometers without a map, what's stopping us from connecting across the world today? If you found this as fascinating as I did, give this video a like, share it with friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden connections that shape who we are.